All right, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. So, today is May 16th, 2024. This is episode, I think this is 58. Episode 58. Okay. And this is a good one and jam-packed. Okay? All right. So, let me try to keep it together. Okay. The so let's see. You see this? Wait, let me do all the stuff I'm supposed to do. Okay. So in there's a podcast. No, this is the podcast. I'm gonna get it together. Hold on. Um, Video content. Uh, you can find at Spotify.com if you're a paying customer, I believe. Okay. So, um, then let's see. Um, RSS.com. RSS.com has the transcript. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, and notice I said listening, it appears that you're looking at a video, but you're really not. If you notice, the image stays the same, right? So there is a video, and that is on the blog, which is myfxbuddies.blogspot.com, or you could try myfxbuddies.com, but you have to use HTTPS as in Sam. Okay, then also, if you just want to watch the video's at rumble.com, myfxbuddies.com, right? Sorry, myfxbuddies. But it's the same video. It's just I can host it there and embed it. And YouTube is funny. So anyway, okay. So I think that's everything, right? Now I'm getting together. Okay, so there's a lot of articles and I'm not going to go over all of them because time, right? Because this one I could be here. I could probably talk for an hour on everything that's going on. But look at this. Iraq seeks collaboration with Amazon on data center to facilitate internet access. Amazon in Iraq. But that's just the title article. It's actually the very last article, so we'll get to that later. So this is from yesterday. They actually opened 2 branches of banks, not new banks, just new branches. And look at the grand celebration they had. Look at that. The flower thing. There's a name for that, right? When it's a bow or whatever. And they even have the little girl there. But anyway, yeah, so expansion. The banks are expanding, and that's great, right? Okay, and there's the article there if you want to read that. Look, the Minister of Planning chairs a ministerial meeting to review the budget schedules. And look, well, that's why I tell you should go to the blog. You could see these images. So look at all this wiring. They clearly are hardwired, right? Mm, not wired, not wire, what is it? Wi-Fi. But so these are the different ministers of the different ministries, and they're going over the budget schedules. So possibly Sunday, possibly they can vote, right? So, and because this guy right here, he's the oil minister. That's the only one that I recognize. These other ones, I don't recognize any of these other people. I mean, but that's not surprising, right? So yeah, so they have who are all the people in there and what they talked about. Let's see. During the meeting, a number of files on the agenda were discussed, including mechanism for transferring the allocations of the Kurdistan government with the budget table. So that's why Kurdistan was there having multiple meetings, right? Um, and also the federal law, the finance management law, and the state general budget law. So see, that really was a big meeting. Lots of discussion. All right. Another person from here, from Washington, Jeffrey Pyatt. And I don't know if that's his right name. Well, let me see. He does have, there's a statement on the White House. Yes, they did spell his name right. He's assistant something or another. If you want to read this, this is the U.S. Department of State. I have a link to it. I don't want to post it because the format and all that stuff, but he's going to Jordan and Iraq. And so, see, a lot is happening for Jordan since they have partnered with Iraq. But anyway, so that's state.gov. And let me go back here. So this is an article in Iraq's news. And he met with Alina Romanowski, who Iraq is still trying to get rid of. But while she's there, she's working. And so then here's the link. If you go to the blog, myethicsbuddies.blogspot.com, then the link to that site I just showed you is right there. So if you want to read, some people like to read every single detail. So this was my favorite article yesterday. And I was actually going to do just a short post because I really think this is big. Some of us have been waiting for this for a long time. Well, the fruition, not the study. But anyway, so Securities Commission, we are studying the possibility of licensing brokerage companies to trade in shares on international stock exchanges, right? So we've been waiting. We know they're connected to the NASDAQ. I believe it's the NASDAQ, but it is one of our big three. Iraq is already connected. They've already run tests. They just need to, they just need to do what they need to do, right? Whatever it is, given the approval. So it says, so that guy, here's his name. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And they're studying the possibility of licensing brokerage companies to trade in shares on international stock exchange. Well, but I'm a little confused. Is it companies that are on the ISX are going to trade, ISX are going to trade, or shares of the ISX are going to trade? I'm a little confused about that, but yeah, we have been waiting for this for years, and so that's why I'm saying they don't need to study. They already did the study. They just need to come on with it. But see right here, for the first time in Iraq. Yes. All right. So that's great. If I had more time, I would read the whole thing, but I'm not. That's why you should go to the blog and you should read it. Okay, let's see here. Mohammed Saleh. See, that's why I said belly. He has big belly. But anyway, advisor to the Prime Minister, a reform process in Iraq begins with the government banking sector. So here, he said that maybe depriving some banks of dealing in the dollar is an opportunity to restructure and organize them. So always look at the bright side, right? So in this, we know that. We know they're in a reform process. But I just wanted you to see he's been in the news like every other day. If not every day, definitely every other day. And I was saying I wouldn't be surprised if they let him announce the announce it wouldn't be the RV, but there would be something. He's gonna announce something. Anyway, so um now remember they were gonna have a meeting where they were gonna discuss the budget schedules? Well, parliamentary finance came out and said, no, no, no. We are going to approve the budget schedules on Sunday. So that would be so neat if they do. We shall see. So we're looking forward to Sunday for that. Here's an article. We will not withdraw from Iraq. An American message that reaches the coordination framework, which from the articles, I haven't seen the framework asking for us to leave. But, maybe I just haven't seen those articles, or, they are the ones that have been asking. So we'll see. But someone was like, get over it. We're not leaving. Now, this is interesting. Golden Gate Ventures, which is out of Silicon Valley, has partnered with Hussein Abdullah of Doha, which is in Qatar, right? So Golden Gate Ventures obtains the first closing of its new fund in the Middle East and North Africa region, valued at $100 million. Now, this was in Iraq's news, so they don't specifically mention Iraq in their article, just Middle East and North Africa. So that's here if you want to read that. This may be something, a way to invest in. If you feel some people are worried about investing in things out of the country, in other countries, but this may be a way in the future, or if you're rich now, because I'm sure if they're $100 million fund, you have to come in with some millions if you want to be a part of it, right? But yeah, so, and look here, my favorite, Vision 2030. You know how I feel about that. But anyway, so yeah, big money, big money. All right, let's see, what's this? Here's another article basically saying, hey, are you really trying to get the parallel market price gone? So you can read that. They're not giving up, putting the pressure on, which is good, right? I like that. The president of Iraq met with Morocco, and there was another country too that they met with. But so if you want to read about that, so even though we're kind of like stagnant, countries are still coming and asking, like, hey, we want to invest with you. We want to coordinate on various issues in the international region, economic fields, and cultural, right? And of course, here's a nice little sentence that I'm not going to read because it's talking about Pizza Land. All right. Okay. Sudani directs a number of measures to develop the work of the Trade Bank of Iraq. And they're down here at the bottom, 1, 2, 3. And I'm thinking, why only direct the Trade Bank of Iraq to have these? Why not all the banks, right? But I guess one step at a time. But this one they're trying to use as a government bank also in Kurdistan as well. So maybe this will be the test, the trial run, the test bank. I don't know. But I thought it was interesting. Okay. Here's another first. For the first time in Iraq, the launch of a new mechanism for paying for tickets for mass transit. So the buses, if you go and you'll see the article, the bus lines, and they're seems to be mostly around universities, but they'll pay with their phone. If they have that function, they'll be able to, I presume, because I don't pay with my phone. I'm trying to not do all of that technology stuff, right? So, tapping the phone. So yeah, so they're moving right along. Okay, let's see, Prime Minister. Here's another interview yesterday, Wednesday. Mohammed Saleh talking about restructuring the banking sector. All right. Here, so this is today. Does this guy look familiar? He should. It's the CBI governor, Al-Alaq. So today they had Arab Forum for Anti-Corruption Bodies, and he spoke as well as others. So this is just a short version, just a little summary of what he talked about. Basically, we're going on an international level. We're curbing corruption, all of that. So here's another guy. He spoke saying Iraq participates in the Arab Forum for Anti-Corruption Bodies and Financial Investigation Units. So just another, like, not universal platform, but Arab coalition. And Iraq is not only invited, but they're also speaking, right? Okay. Here's the real estate bank. They've been in the news. They had some issues and they weren't able to function. So then I need like 15 minutes. I'll be here in 15 minutes, you guys. Just talk amongst yourselves. Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay. So, they got cleared and they're back to, well, they've requested funding. I haven't seen where they got the funding, but I bet you they did because look what they did. They instituted electronic collection service, so the electronic payment system. Real estate bank announces the application of the electronic collection service. So I'm sure as part of their funding, they probably had to do that, right? The CBI was like, yeah, we'll fund you, but are you signed up for the point of sale system? So yeah, so they are. So they're probably back in business, just expanding. Here's the other bank that I was talking about that opened a branch in Basra. Ali Bank, AHLI Bank. All right. Yes. Okay. So oh no, and what's special about this? This is the one that's going southern Iraq. Southern Iraq. Okay. So in my opinion, this is important because they're moving through the country. So the Kurds are done. The Kurdistan was a little more advanced anyway, right? So now they got Baghdad. If you've ever looked at Iraq on a map, you know, well, any country has a north, a central, and a southern part, right? So yeah, so they have opened this bank branch in the vital region of southern Iraq. So they're making their way through the country, and I think that's very positive. Okay, here is another article. So the first article that I read to you about a license for brokerage companies to trade in shares on international stock exchanges. This one they ran today. So it's the same article basically, but they really want the customers to see it. They ran it yesterday. They're running it today. Possibly they'll run it again this weekend too. We're going to skip this. You could read this but for time's sake, we're going to skip that. Oh no. Look at this. Well, the whole article's here. It's just not formatted right. But anyway, listen to this. Iraqi forex market. Fraud networks that launder money and exploit the dreams of young people. So isn't that sad? But if you go through and you read the warnings here are the same warnings that we get here. There are risks associated with forex trading, including losses. If you can lose money if currency prices move against you. Leverage can magnify your losses as well as your profits. Forex markets can be very volatile, which means that currency prices can move quickly and unpredictably. So here's the fraud. There is a risk of dealing with fraudulent brokers. So there's a warning, which to me, Forex really picking up in Iraq, right? If they're issuing this warning. So yeah, I like that. Well, modernity, people trying to make money, right? Nothing wrong with that. Okay, here, this guy is the head of the Association of the Private Banks. They talked about a partnership with the Union of Arab Banks. So here again, you have the Gulf countries, Gulf affiliates coming together. The Union of Arab Banks is a global group that is more than 45 years old, and it also has to deal with the European Union, the Federal Reserve, or the U.S. Treasury. Isn't that a shame? We're basically the same now. Anyway, yeah, so this is another great advancement. Doesn't mean we're going to the bank tomorrow, but Iraq's private bank, remember, and they were the last ones. They were the ones holding out. They didn't want to get on the right payment program going through the U.S. Treasury, right? But yeah, so they're getting on board full throttle. So that's great. Here's my one commercial, but we'll skip because for time's sake. Well, actually, I do have some people, $7,000. Me personally, they're not me personally, but because you can also sign up to offer this program. Maybe you weren't self-employed, but maybe you knew some people who were self-employed in 2020 and 2021, and then they could apply right through you. But anyway, yeah, but you have to come to the blog and click on this image here to get the information, or actually, I usually have something right under here, but I see it's not there, so I'll fix that too. Okay, isn't this smart? Listen to this. Iraq and Japan are discussing mechanisms for implementing projects financed by the Japanese loan. So Japan is like, look, they taking too long. Whatever they gonna do, I'm ready to get moving now. So offer me some projects. I will loan you the money because I'm ready to get started now. I think that is so smart. But guess who has to approve it? We do. But we're buddies with Japan, right? Isn't Japan an ally? Okay, let's see. So this is today. This was in their news a lot. This came out, and I'm gonna say first, and you'll see why. Mohammed Saleh again, right? Advisor to the Prime Minister for Financial Affairs. He outlined the loans paid. Oh, I didn't read the title. Sudani's advisor announces full repayment of IMF loans. And I'm like, I thought they already announced this. Why is it back in the news? So, it's 2021. Where's 20? Here, this paragraph right here seems to be the issue. And I've read this a few times. I'm going to have to read it again. My reading comprehension. So I'm more leaning towards, it looks like there's a discrepancy of 2021 where IMF is saying, oh, we loaned you this much in 2021. And he's saying, no, you didn't. We requested a loan, but it never materialized. So, okay, keep that in mind. Here, the President of the Republic, Iraq categorically rejects violations of its sovereignty under any pretext. Now look at this. Woo! The gold, the chandeliers. Isn't that beautiful? Man, see, if I went even the detail on the floor, I would lay down on the floor and just stare at the ceiling. But that's me, right? They would be like, security, get that American. What is she doing? But there was an Arab forum, Arab something today, and they spoke. And look, I think isn't that Crown Prince bin Salman, blah blah blah. There's the guy from Syria. There's Abbas is Pizza Land president or prime minister, whatever his title is. I don't know these other people, but I'm sure there's Qatar. I think this is a Qatar guy. But yeah, so I watched it. Some of it, most of it was in Arabic, but they had a translation to English, which was interesting. So yeah, so you could read about this if you want. So it's another thing of Arab Summit where they invited Iraq and they got to speak too. So they're really viewing Iraq as a peer, right? So that's why I hope you can understand the point I'm trying to convey. Um, they're getting the respect, but how long is that going to last if they don't get their money back? They're going to be like, yeah, you're supposedly sovereign and nothing can infringe on your sovereignty, but you don't have your money. Your money's not at the right value, right? So it's got to be frustrating for them, just like it is for us. Here, Sadani had more meetings with the American company KBR for Sustainable Technology Solutions. If you want to read about that. Plasher. This is Jenny from the UN. She gave her last speech today, and you can read that if you like. It was pretty positive. The main thing is the title was Iraq in 2024 is developing rapidly. So, yeah, it was pretty positive for the most part. Okay, here's more about Jeffrey Pyatt's visit to this apical. I don't know, that's how I'm pronouncing that. But this is more like a green energy, and they focused on getting the Kurdistan Turkey. They talked about getting the Kurdistan Turkey line open. So some people I know will be interested in reading that. The World Bank recommends that Iraq control public wages and gradually abolish compulsory employment. So today, an IMF Article 4 consultation report came out. It's 68 pages, so I will not be reading it. Okay, I will put a link to it. Matter of fact, the link. We're almost done. We're almost done. Okay, hang in there. The link to download it. It's free to download it. Is here. You know how I do. I provide everything. I tell you, I'm not gonna read it, but if you want to go read it, you're welcome. It's right here. So, 2024 Article 4 consultation press release, staff report, and statement by the executive director of Iraq. Okay, so here's just a tiny little summary, right? But, so I'll show you. There is one thing that a lot of people get freaked out by. This is page 3 of the report. And it's, see, the years are here. 2023, 2024, 2025. Exchange rate. Exchange rate dinar per US 1316 is what they have for 2023. Next year, 2024, they have 1300, and 2025 they have 1300. Don't get freaked out by that. That's what they have to put because that's what's in the budget. It doesn't mean they're not going to change the rate for the next 3 years, right? But I know some people are going to take that and they're going to panic. Don't panic. Okay? I've been reading these for years and that's what they do. They have to put what's there. So, what's in the budget. So here's some of the topics that it covers: fiscal debt, monetary and financial sector indicators, fiscal accounts, lots of stuff that I'm just not going to read. Okay? But knock yourself out if you'd like to. All right. Okay, so that's that. And there's a summary. Oh, the title's missing. The title should be right here. But so right below that posting is a summary of what is in that. The IMF fund said on Thursday that blah, blah, blah. There's more. See these numbers? See, when I see numbers like that, I go, okay, this is important to someone, not me, but there it is for you if you would like to read it, okay? And then here's more. IMF fund, the Iraqi economy will grow by 5.3% in 2025. And who knows, it could be even more if they finally let the RV go and all the investments and the countries and companies start coming in. I could see them growing by 10%, right? Especially in 2025. So there's that information. And here is the final article. Iraq seeks collaboration with Amazon on data center to facilitate internet access. And look, that's probably not right. That's an image for the future, right? But Iraqi Minister of Communications held talks with Amazon representatives on Thursday to explore avenues for collaboration on establishing a data center in the country. Yay! The facility would aim to deliver global internet content at competitive prices to Iraqi users. Can you imagine Amazon in Iraq? Then you know they are modern and up to date and ready to compete with the rest of the world. All right, so that's it. That's for today. Like I said, there's a lot. Everything's good. The oil stuff is still good. They're still talking about China and all the oil um deals. What else? Everything's good. We just have to wait. Saturday they're supposedly gonna vote for the what is that? House Speaker. But that doesn't matter anyway. That's not towards the RV. Um and Sunday possibly they're gonna vote on the budget schedule. So we look to Sunday. But if there's anything, I'll probably post on Saturday because if you go more than 2 days, then the podcast ends up being 40 minutes. And that's a little too long. Okay, I have new subscribers. Thank you, new subscribers. And bear with me. I'm not a professional. I am not a professional, okay? I'm a regular person just doing my best to try to bring this crazy information, bring some sense to this crazy information, right? So thank you for hanging there with me. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. And if there's a join, follow, subscribe, whatever button, wherever you're enjoying this content, please swipe that, tap that, click that, whatever. So when I do update, if all things work like they're supposed to, you'll be notified. And I think that's it, right? Yeah, thanks again for listening. Our time is valuable, right? Okay. So, yeah. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you're enjoying this content. Until next time, thank you.